Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is influential people in world history. Poetic Tour, Part 3. Pope Urban II, France and Italy, 1035 to 1099 AD. Urban II was the French Pope who initiated the First Crusade in 1095. This was the effort by Christians in Europe to recapture the Holy Land from Muslims, especially Jerusalem. This city was and is holy for Jews, Christians, and Muslims, and really is a gem. Umar ibn al-Khattab, 584 to 644, Mecca and Medina, Arabia. Umar ibn al-Khattab was one of the most powerful and influential Muslim caliphs in history. He was a senior companion of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. Umar was known as a pious and just man. He ruled the Rashidun Caliphate during the early years, when the Islamic Empire began. Asoka, 304 BC to 232 BC, India. Asoka was an Indian emperor of the Maurya dynasty. He ruled most of the Indian subcontinent and promoted the spread of Buddhism across Asia. Some quotes by Asoka. Every religion has the wholesome core of love, compassion, and goodwill. The outer shell differs, but give importance to the inner essence and there will be no quarrel. Don't condemn anything. Give importance to the essence of every religion, and there will be real peace and harmony. St. Augustine, 354 to 430 AD, Algeria, North Africa. St. Augustine's writings influenced the development of Christianity. Some quotes by St. Augustine. Pray as though everything depended on God. Work as though everything depended on you. The confession of evil works is the beginning of good works. Love is the beauty of the soul. Indeed, man wishes to be happy, even when he so lives as to make happiness impossible. Patience is the companion of wisdom. He that is kind is free, though he is a slave. He that is evil is a slave, though he be a king. It was pride that changed angels into devils. It is humility that makes men into angels. God judged it better to bring good out of evil than to suffer no evil to exist. Since love grows within you, so beauty grows, for love is the beauty of the soul. William Harvey, England, Great Britain, 1578 to 1657. William Harvey was an English physician who made influential contributions in anatomy and physiology. He was the first known physician to describe completely and in detail the systematic circulation and properties of blood being pumped to the brain and body by the heart. Wow! What a contribution! William Harvey certainly did his part. Ernest Rutherford, 1871 to 1937, New Zealand and England, Great Britain. Ernest Rutherford is the father of nuclear physics. He discovered the concept of the radioactive half-life and the radioactive element radon. He won the 1908 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for his investigation into the disintegration of elements, and the chemical element Rutherfordium is named after him. Wow, what tremendous achievement! His life was really filled to the brim. John Calvin, 1509 to 1564, France and Switzerland in Europe. John Calvin was a theologian, pastor, and reformer in Geneva, Switzerland during the Protestant Christian Reformation. Some quotes by John Calvin. There is not one blade of grass, there is no color in this world that is not intended to make us rejoice. However many blessings we expect from God, His infinite liberality will always exceed all our wishes and our thoughts. Seeing that a pilot steers the ship in which we sail, who will never allow us to perish even in the midst of shipwrecks, there is no reason why our minds should be overwhelmed with fear and overcome with weariness. Gregor Mendel, 1822 to 1884, the Czech Republic in Europe. Gregor Mendel was a scientist and an Augustinian friar. He experimented with pea plants and established the rules of heredity. Gregor Mendel is considered the father of the modern science of genetics and helped explain how one might have a certain tendency. Max Planck, 1858 to 1947, Germany. Theoretical physicist, the originator of the quantum theory which revolutionized human understanding of atomic and subatomic processes. A quote by Max Planck. As a man who has devoted his whole life to the most clear-headed science, to the study of matter, I can tell you as a result of my research about atoms this much. There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force, which brings the particle of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent spirit. This spirit is the matrix of all matter. Both religion and science require a belief in God. For believers, God is in the beginning, and for physicists, He is at the end of all considerations. To the former, God is the foundation. To the latter, the crown of the edifice of every generalized worldview. Joseph Lister, 1827 to 1912, England, Great Britain. Joseph Lister was a British surgeon who championed the use of carbolic acid to sterilize surgical instruments and to clean wounds. He is the father of modern surgery. His work led to a reduction in post-operative infections, which led surgery patients to have a greater sense of safety. Nicholas Otto, 1832 to 1891, Germany. Nicholas Otto was a German engineer who developed the compressed charge internal combustion engine, which ran on petroleum gas and led to the modern internal combustion engine. This was a critical development in the automobile revolution, and for car lovers, this history should really make them grin. Francisco Pizarro, 1471 to 1541, Spain in Europe, Panama in Central America, and Peru in South America. Francisco Pizarro was a military man who led the Spanish conquest of the Inca Empire in Peru, South America. Pizarro became the governor of New Castile, but later was assassinated by supporters of the Spaniard Diego Almagro at Pizarro's palace in Peru, in the capital city of Lima. Hernan Cortez, 1485 to 1547, Spain and Mexico. Hernan Cortez played a major role in the creation of the Spanish Empire by leading the conquest of the Aztec Empire in Mexico. He became a very wealthy man, although by the end of his life he was poor and out of dough. Thomas Jefferson, 1743 to 1826, United States, the third U.S. President. Thomas Jefferson's words in the Declaration of Independence, "All men are created equal," changed the world. He helped to make freedom of religion a powerful cornerstone of American success and was an inspiring example of a man dedicated to education. He is admired all over the world today, and certainly all across the American nation. Queen Isabella I of Castile, Spain, 1451 to 1504. Queen Isabella of Castile married King Ferdinand of Aragon. Their marriage led to the unification of Spain. The couple completed the reconquest of Muslim lands by Christian forces in Spain. They financed Christopher Columbus's 1492 voyage of discovery to America, which started the Spanish Empire. In Spanish history, few women are respected higher. Joseph Stalin, 1878 to 1953, Georgia, Russia, and the Soviet Union. Joseph Stalin was the dictator of the Soviet Union from 1924 to 1953. His communist government murdered 20 million people. Stalin is considered one of the most evil men in history. Communism today continues to be seductive, attractive, and popular. This truly is an unfortunate reality. Julius Caesar, 100 BC to 44 BC, Roman Republic and the Roman Empire. Julius Caesar was a military hero who became a dictator. This led to the end of democracy for the Roman Republic. Some quotes by Caesar. I came, I saw, I conquered. Men are quick to believe that which they wish to be true. Cowards die many times before their actual deaths. If you must break the law, do it to seize power. In all other cases, observe it. As a rule, men worry more about what they can't see than about what they can. It is easier to find men who will volunteer to die than to find those who are willing to endure pain with patience. The die is cast. Now, Caesar said the die is cast while crossing the Rubicon River on the Italian peninsula, and this led to the expression crossing the Rubicon. Now, Caesar was traveling with the army, and by traveling across the Rubicon River, that was a violation of law, and it was the road that this military hero took to become dictator of the Roman Empire, of the Roman Republic. Et tu, Brute, in English, you too, Brutus. This was when Caesar was being stabbed to death by senators, including his friend Brutus, and this comes from the play Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. The date was March 15th, also known as the Ides of March, 44 BC in Rome, Italy. William the Conqueror, 1028 to 1087. The last time England was defeated was when William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy, France, prevailed against King Harold, the Anglo-Saxon king at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Napoleon Bonaparte and Adolf Hitler came close but failed. The British always had democracy, the rule of law, reason, and courage in their bag of tricks. Sigmund Freud, 1856 to 1939, Austria in Europe and Great Britain. Freud was an Austrian neurologist and the founder of psychoanalysis. Some quotes by Sigmund Freud. The first human who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. What a distressing contrast there is between the radiant intelligence of the child and the feeble mentality of the average adult. Illusions can commend themselves to us because they save us pain and allow us to enjoy pleasure instead. We must therefore accept it without complaint when they sometimes collide with a bit of reality against which they are dashed to pieces. What progress we are making! In the Middle Ages they would have burned me. Now they are content with burning my books. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. A man who has been the indisputable favorite of his mother keeps for life the feeling of a conqueror. Edward Jenner, 1749 to 1823, England, Great Britain. Edward Jenner was an English physician who was a contributor to the development of the smallpox vaccine. Jenner popularized the practice of vaccination. His work saved many lives. During his time, 10 to 20% of the British population was being killed by smallpox. Dr. Jenner was a pioneer of immunization. William Röntgen, 1845 to 1923, Prussia, the Netherlands, and Germany in Europe. William Röntgen was a mechanical engineer and physicist. He produced and detected electromagnetic radiation in a wavelength known as X-rays. Röntgen is considered the father of diagnostic radiology. For those interested in the development of medicine, his work made them very happy. Johann Sebastian Bach, 1685 to 1750, Germany. Johann Sebastian Bach was a German composer and musician of the Baroque period. He is known for instrumental compositions such as the Brandenburg Concertos and the Goldberg Variations, and for vocal music such as the St. Matthew Passion and the Mass in B minor. He is considered one of the greatest composers of all time. The body of his work can be considered nothing less than sublime. Lao Tzu, 6th century BC to 4th century BC in China. Lao Tzu was an ancient Chinese philosopher and writer, and author of the Tao Te Ching, and he's the founder of Taoism. Some quotes by Lao Tzu. He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. Kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness in giving creates love. The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. An ant on the move does more than a dozing ox. Silence is a source of great strength. Great acts are made up of small deeds. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. He who is contented is rich. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Voltaire, 1694 to 1778, France. French Enlightenment writer, historian, and philosopher. Some quotes by Voltaire. Every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. The art of medicine consists in amusing the patient while nature cures the disease. What most persons consider as virtue after the age of 40 is simply a loss of energy. God gave us the gift of life. It is up to us to give ourselves the gift of living well. It is difficult to free fools from the chains they revere. Paradise was made for tender hearts, hell for loveless hearts. I die adoring God, loving my friends, not hating my enemies, and detesting superstition. We must cultivate our own garden. When man was put in the Garden of Eden, he was put there so that he should work, which proves that man was not born to rest. Johannes Kepler, 1571 to 1630, Germany, Holy Roman Empire. Johannes Kepler was a German astronomer, mathematician, and astrologer. He is a key figure in the 17th century scientific revolution, best known for his laws of planetary motion. Kepler was motivated by the religious conviction and belief that God had created the world according to an intelligent plan that is accessible through the natural light of reason. Well, that concludes today's presentation. You might consider checking out our website, Adventures in History. with Peter J. Ray at peterjray.com. So far, we've made 676 history videos in 7 areas: world history, American history, book reviews, poetic tours, Cleveland baseball, family history, and autobiography. There's a donate feature. You might consider making a donation so we can continue making these videos. If you live in Metro Manila, Philippines, and are looking for a high school, you might consider Res Celeste Educational Center. Res Celeste is located on, Allenby Street in Barangay Maytunas, not far from the corner of Pigavar and Wilson Street. At Res Celeste, we specialize in helping young people who have had difficulty in the larger traditional high schools. And we're more than a school, we're a warm, supportive community, and we work to be creative and innovative. And the website is resceleste.education, RESALEST. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.